It's May 14th, 2012. 99 years ago today, in 1913, New York Governor William Sulzer approved the Rockefeller Foundation, brainchild of oil baron John D. Rockefeller, who, adjusting for inflation, is the richest man in history. The foundation's mission statement was to promote the well-being of mankind throughout the world. Rockefeller made his billions in oil. In 1870, along with brother William, he founded the Standard Oil Company, which dominated the oil industry for decades. He also made a lot of enemies with his questionable business practices and labor standards and a thirst for market domination. By 1880, according to a report in the New York World, Standard Oil was, quote, the most cruel, impudent, pitiless, and grasping monopoly that ever fastened upon a country, end quote. At its peak, Standard Oil included 20,000 domestic wells, 4,000 miles of pipeline, and 5,000 tank cars. Its share of the world oil refining market topped out at 90%. With all that oil money, the Rockefeller Foundation funded medical research and community programs aimed at alleviating poverty. It also funded racial science studies at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute of Anthropology, a Nazi institution up until the outbreak of the Second World War. Fast forward 70 years, Rockefeller Foundation annual assets regularly top $3 billion. Much of the foundation's funds spring from the Rockefeller family's oil companies, which began with Standard Oil, but now include corporate descendants such as ExxonMobil. While the foundation still funds medical research and poverty programs, it's found a new pet project, the environment. Interesting terrain for an oil-based foundation. Its new motto is Smart Globalization. The foundation dumps millions into the global green plutocracy, bankrolling smaller enviro foundations in countries around the globe, including the Tides Foundation. Tides Canada receives big money from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, a separate entity with identical goals. Through slick public relations campaigns and behind-the-scenes politicking, Tides bashes all things Canadian oil, including the entire province of Alberta, the tar sands, oil drilling, and Canadian tanker traffic off the north coast of British Columbia, which, if eliminated, like the Tide folks want, would leave that strategic oil waterway open for American oil interests. Old John D. Rockefeller would be proud. One more thing. In Vancouver, BC, my hometown, the current mayor is a Tides man. Mayor Gregor Robertson was a director of Tides Canada from 2002 to 2004. Now in power at City Hall, installed in part due to big bags of American campaign donations, including hundreds of thousands from Tides Canada affiliates, Robertson recently launched a war on oil, opposing all oil pipeline expansion that would increase oil tanker traffic in Vancouver Harbor. Robertson is up front. We know who he is. A radical environmentalist, he hates all things oil-related, including cars, drivers, parking stalls, etc. However, the motivations of big money men and oil-backed green foundations like the Rockefeller Foundation remain muddied, clear as oil, so to speak. But a baron birthed a movement 99 years ago today.